Sure, kid. You'll get a fair trial. And then I'm gonna hang you personally.
Interesting facts about famous people.
Best lesser-known westerns. There are many westerns that come to mind when we think about the genre. Famous, popular, and much watched. Regulars on our watch lists. There are also some westerns that rarely get watched or talked about. It's these we will look at today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. Head over to my channel if you want to check out my many other videos. The link is in the description. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel as well. I do appreciate it. Let's get into it. Lawman, 1971. Director, Michael Winner. Cast, Burt Lancaster, Robert Ryan, Lee J. Cobb, Robert Duvall. A lawman from Bannock arrives in Sabbath to arrest all the cattlemen whose wild celebration the year before resulted in the accidental death of an old man. Considered to be one of Lancaster's best westerns, but in fact one of the best westerns ever made. In the great tradition of John Wayne, The Deceiver, 1931, Donald Sutherland, End of the Game, 1975, and Kevin Costner, The Big Chill, 1983, Wilford Brimley gets an early role as a corpse in this movie.
People called him the Widowmaker.
Vera Cruz, 1954. Director, Robert Aldrich. Cast, Gary Cooper, Burt Lancaster, Denise Darcel, Cesar Romero. During the Mexican Rebellion of 1866, an unsavory group of American adventurers are hired by the forces of Emperor Maximilian to escort a countess to Vera Cruz. Clark Gable warned Gary Cooper not to work with Burt Lancaster, saying, "That young guy will blow you off the screen." Ironically, 4 years later, Gable would work with Lancaster in Run Silent, Run Deep, 1958. Gary Cooper was badly hurt when he was struck by fragments from a bridge that was blown up during the filming, as the special effects team used too much explosive. Breakheart Pass, 1975. Director, Tom Grease. Cast, Charles Bronson, Ben Johnson, Richard Crenna, Jill Ireland. John Deacon is being transported as a prisoner on a train with supplies and medicine for Fort Humboldt, Nevada. Many of the actors and crew were often jailed for drunken disorderly conduct. Scott Newman was jailed during filming and his father, Paul Newman, had to bail him out. He had been causing problems on set due to his drinking, and Paul was called in to straighten him out.
Killer, arsonist, cheat, and a coward. It's hardly surprising if he turns out to be a liar.
It's coming.
Oh my God!
One-Eyed Jacks, 1961. Director, Marlon Brando. Cast, Marlon Brando, Carl Malden, Pina Palisa, Katie Jurado. After robbing a Mexican bank, Dad Longworth takes the loot and leaves his partner Rio to be captured, but Rio escapes and searches for Dad in California. Marlon Brando insisted on getting drunk to film a scene in which he was supposed to act drunk, but he got too drunk to act or direct, and so he insisted on repeating the process another day. Again, he got too drunk to direct or act. Marlon Brando replaced Stanley Kubrick as director.
Sure, kid. you'll get a fair trial. And then I'm gonna hang you personally.
The Bravados, 1958. Director, Henry King. Cast, Gregory Peck, Joan Collins, Stephen Boyd, Albert Salmi.
reason to kill you.
A man is chasing four outlaws who killed his wife and finds them in a small town's jail, but they escape to Mexico. Gregory Peck decided to become a cowboy in real life, so he purchased a vast working ranch near Santa Barbara, California, stocked with 600 head of prize cattle. Peck admitted he found it a struggle to get a handle on playing such a hateful character.
For all of you, it'll be daybreak. But for these four men, it'll be the midnight of their lives. Your prayers will help them.
Wild Rovers, 1971. Director, Blake Edwards. Cast, William Holden, Ryan O'Neill, Carl Malden, Lynn Carlin. Tired of cowpunching for a living, two Montana cowboys, rob a bank and flee, but their employer's sons chase after them. The scene in which Ross and Frank break in a Mustang was mostly real. Blake Edwards wanted the action to be as real as possible, so he had them train as horse wranglers in Iceland for 5 weeks before filming. At one point, you can see a dark patch where William Holden later admitted to having wet himself just a little bit.
Keep right on going and bring those cowboys back, you understand?
Straws to see who goes in.
The Ballad of Lefty Brown, 2017. Director, Jared Mosh. Cast, Bill Pullman, Peter Fonda, Stephen Allen Cedar, Kathy Baker. A thrilling and action-packed western, The Ballad of Lefty Brown is a story about loyalty, friendship, and the restless pursuit of justice. Throughout this film, Lefty, Brown, Bill Pullman, does everything right-handed. Lefty Brown was based on the gunslinger Lefty B.J. Wheeler. Lewis Pullman, who plays Billy Kitchen, is Bill Pullman's son in real life. This is Peter Fonda's last Western film, released 2 years before his death from lung cancer in 2019.
Hand him over.
First one that moves gets the bullet.
This isn't the land it once was.
It's money. It makes fools of men.
Alvarez Kelly, 1966. Director, Edward Dmytryk. Cast, William Holden, Richard Widmark, Janice Rule, Patrick O'Neill. During the Civil War, Mexican cattleman Alvarez Kelly supplies the Union with cattle until Confederate Colonel Tom Rossiter's hungry men force Kelly to change his customers. William Holden and Richard Widmark become good friends during the making of the film. Widmark became ill with the flu and was confined to his room. Holden bought him a snare drum because he knew Widmark played the drums. Widmark later remarked that 4 months of being together on a film location was the equivalent of 10 or 15 years of friendship.
Out of you for anything in the world.
About 100 of us. 2,500 head of cattle. That makes 2,600 for our side.
Geronimo, An American Legend, 1993. Director, Walter Hill. Cast, Jason Patric, Gene Hackman, Robert Duvall, Wes Studi. The story of an Apache chief and his armed resistance to the US government's subjugation of his people. According to an interview with Walter Hill, he never liked the title of the movie because he never felt the movie was about Geronimo, but about the man who caught Geronimo. The film had mixed reception from critics, but praised by Native American groups.
Actually, things go bad. You save the last bullet for yourself. You're taken alive.
When an army of 5,000 couldn't defeat...
I want you to find Geronimo and make him this proposal.
I don't think you or the government intend to keep this promise.
Great, Geronimo. Well, I think you're nothing.
Warlock, 1959. Director, Edward Dmytryk. Cast, Richard Widmark, Henry Fonda, Anthony Quinn, Dorothy Malone. A famous gunman becomes the Marshal of Warlock to end a gang's rampages, but is met with some opposition by a former gang member turned deputy sheriff who wants to follow only legal methods. Edward Dmytryk tells in his biography that Hank Fonda was such a fast draw that he, Dmytryk, had to slow up the action so the audience could savour it properly. Two roles were played by actors playing against type. The often strong, macho Anthony Quinn here is cast as a hesitant, weak man. Tom Drake, who once played sensitive composer Richard Rogers and specialised in clean-cut, boy-next-door roles, here is cast as chief villain, the evil boss of the vicious San Pablo gang.
Oh, no. Billy.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.